Welcome everyone. Just a few days ago, we had OpenAI's first dev day. And one of the things that sticks out immediately is GPT-4 with Vision is finally available to developers. And that means we can use the API to build apps and websites and web apps to recognize images and comment. So today, we're going to use AI to build this very, very quickly, and the completed result will look like this. Not very pretty, but I am going to drag just a random image here, and you can see that, Japan, neon lights, and what I've asked it to do is tell me just 2, 3, maybe 4 sentences, create a backstory here to the image. And so here, in the heart of Neo-Tokyo, a bustling neon-lit district buzzed with energy as the city's inhabitants sought refuge in the escapism of night. Amongst the crowd, a rogue AI and human guys search for the elusive hacker known only as Phantom, blah, 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 blah. So you can see it's obviously recognized the neon lights, Japan, and also created a bit of fiction as I asked it to do. I'm going to refresh this and do one more here. Something a little more less less Tokyo. And so here, in the sun-baked realm of an alternate history, the majestic temple of Anharet rises from the desert sands as a portal to a world unseen. So it's trying to create this fictional world. Now, I can very quickly ask it to do something else. In this case, I asked it to create a fictional backstory, but I can ask, can you critique this photo? Let's say this image. Nice and simple. We'll refresh it. And I am going to pick just another image here that I have. It does take a second to get a response, but in this case, it recognizes, image features what appears to be a large sculpture of a pharaoh's face, likely Ramses II, which is true. The sculpture is bathed in a dramatic interplay of light and shadow. And Project IDX just crashed on me, which is never good. But I think we get the point here. We are going to build this website, not very pretty, but a website nonetheless, and allow you to start playing with GPT-Vision, see what you can do with it, because this is a very simple prompt, but we could put different prompts as well. I'm running creativity here, but how would you draw this image? What would you tell people about this image? Things like that. Natural light, it's recognizing the contrast. I really like this photo as well. So, pretty cool. And so what we're going to do is build this out, and we're going to actually use AI tools to build this out. So we're going to get started. Today, I'm using Project IDX, which is a development web space on the web from Google. Most importantly, Project IDX is completely AI-powered, so we're going to speed through development. We're going to create a new workspace, and you get blank options, but today we are building a web app, and we're doing a blank HTML page instead of anything fancy. Now, I basically created it beforehand, so we have a workspace here that I loaded up already to save us about a minute of time. Now, when you get started, you're going to see that you have a layout of files ready to go and a Hello World page all set, ready to go. There are a couple of features here. First of all, you have inline suggestions that are similar to GitHub Copilot or Amazon Code Whisperer. You also get an AI chatbot by clicking this IDX AI button at the bottom. And of course, you can have a conversation, tell me a web dev joke, and it will try its best. But more importantly, it's going to be able to do things like recognize what you have currently selected. So in this case, I'm pulling up a menu here and say explain the selected code. I can also say, can you tell me what this meta tag does? And it recognizes what you've highlighted. So we're going to use this to really, really speed up development here. But before we get started, we should take a look at the Vision API. Now, how this works is really, really simple. It is just like any other call to OpenAI, and what's going to happen is that in your messages, just like if you were to have a chat conversation, you're going to be able to add a different type of message that's called image URL. Now, in this case, it links to a JPEG, and that is one option for you. Another option is to encode it into base 64 images. So I'm going to prefer this version in which the data is all encoded. I'm going to try and have it all done on the client side and then send it all together as a message. So I'm going to pass this over to Project IDX. I'm going to say, no, let's scale back first. Let's create an interface. Can you write code that will let me drag and drop images into a box or select them by clicking, and it will encode it into base 64. Perfect. So one of the things we can do is automatically insert this, both of these into the code. Not particularly well done. I will open and close the script tag here for the AI, and let's pretty it up. And I want to have it so that it is word wrapped. Okay, let's see. Let's refresh here, and can you ensure that the input can also be drag and dropped? I like the drag and drop option much more than selecting. So it's interesting that this AI, I haven't seen this before because I'm just playing with it now, but it's listing out which repositories this code has come from. So I'm going to insert it in here. Boy, this was not well done. So I'm going to insert it here, and I am going to, I see, it's just inserting where my cursor is. So these things should be in the body. Let's fix up the spacing, and let's take a look. Alright, this drag and drop is not working right, so I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes and try and recorrect this. The one thing that is always predictable about these tools is that they never work exactly as intended. Um, I had a lot of trouble trying to get the drag and drop done just purely using IDXAI. It just kept giving little pieces. I think that's the major problem. Whereas ChatGPT, I pulled it up on the side and went, you know what? Let's not rely on IDXAI. Let's just go with GPT-4, which is tried and true and does great. Right off the bat, I asked it for that drag and drop. It gives me a whole segment on how to do it. Then I asked it to scale down the image so, it's cheaper to upload things in to 512 by 512. It did that, and then encode it into base 64, and finally send it off into an API call. I even asked it to reformat the functions to split them up into different functions, and it did amazing. Whereas IDX just kept giving me little incomplete pieces, and it just wasn't very cohesive because it might suggest something of a function down here that references things that don't exist. So you might need to create like this ID response tab that I had. Just it seems to have an idea of what your full document is, but it is not suggesting in a coherent way of X, Y, Z, this is how you fix it, this is where you want to modify at the top or the bottom, or sometimes ChatGPT gives you the whole code rewritten. So my experience so far, just once again, IDXAI conversation just wasn't that great. But ChatGPT was able to do it very quickly. I did find that some of the autocomplete suggestions were also kind of poor. So I don't know. Maybe the AI is just not up to scratch. In theory, this should be really useful and really helpful, but they just don't have a great AI employed here. Okay. Let's back off Project IDX for a moment and see what we've done here. I'm going to refresh a page. We have a drag and drop area, and you can see that I took a picture of Homer Simpson, and all we've asked is, once we drag an image here, the question we're asking ChatGPT-Vision is, what's in this image? In this case, it says, an animated character with yellow skin wearing a white shirt. I've noticed that GPT-Vision is not identifying things. So if you send a picture of, a U.S. president, it is refusing to identify it. And apparently, this goes with cartoon characters as well. But we can tweak this in all sorts of ways. We can start saying, can you critique this cartoon drawing? Save this, refresh. And in a second or two, is, it recognizes that it's someone it should know and be able to identify. Lines are smooth and consistent. Colors are vibrant and true. Proportions are consistent with the show's design. So all of it makes sense. I can continue going down and making this even cooler. Can you make a meme for this image? And we'll send it again. I can suggest a caption. When you promise to diet but hear the word donut, internal struggle intensifies. So that is a decent enough meme, and I'm curious. I'm just going to run it one more time here. when you find out your favorite show has been renewed for another season. So it's picking up that Homer is happy, satisfied, and trying to create a meme. I am going to put one more image here, just one that I have on my desktop. Can you make a meme for this image? Focus on human greed. I'll refresh this. And of course, this is Jeremy Powell. Not allowed to create a meme with real life individuals. Again, GPT-Vision, you can see some of the limitations, but we can go back and say, can you tell me what is in this image? And you're going to find that it has no problem telling you a little bit around, what he's wearing, probably what he's wearing, speaking, gesturing, so it's able to describe it very well. I think this is really interesting because if you counted the total time I spent with ChatGPT to get this working, very, very little time. Now, admittedly, this probably isn't the way you want to do this. I have a API key exposed right here. It's going to get deleted right after, but not the best way to do it. But you can start building some very, very simple apps using GPT-Vision that we couldn't have imagined years ago. And this takes 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes to build. What can we do here? I'm going to ask it to, can you tell me a joke involving this photo? And you can see that I have very limited imagination here. But I'm quite excited to see what people build, because I think one of the first things they suggested with GPT-Vision is take a picture of your refrigerator, see what's in there, and then ask GPT for a recipe using those ingredients. I don't know what else we might be able to do. Maybe I can take a picture of broken hardware. Maybe I can take pictures of clothing. Maybe I can take pictures of my desk and say, please organize, please fix, please suggest something. And it's going to be a lot of fun to build these out. What I found is that OpenAI doesn't have a playground for GPT-Vision yet, so most people don't get the chance to really test this out very easily. And so you can build this yourself with the help of AI very, very quickly, whether it's Project IDX or ChatGPT or something else. I think that's it. I'm at a loss because I'm a little bit disappointed with Project IDX and was very impressed with ChatGPT, but that wasn't the goal here. But I am very interested in playing around with GPT-Vision more soon.